So, it's been a week, no that's a lie, it's been 2 weeks, with the HD58X, and I have a couple of things to say about these headphones. Starting off, of course, as always, with the build quality. So I already said that these headphones are pretty well built. I like their build a lot. They look pretty much the same as the HD600 series, which includes the 600s, the 650, the 660S. So no complaints in that regard. I wouldn't call them retro. I would still call them fairly modern from their design perspective. But these fit in just about everywhere. And so, yeah, from that point I have no issues. Where I have issues though is like this mechanism is weird because it's very stiff. So the right one, I said that in my review, in the unboxing, the right one swivels fairly good. Is it the right one even? Yeah, it's the right one. The right one swivels fairly easily, so you don't have to put much pressure into it, although if it is on your head, you do have to adjust it with your hand so that it fits perfectly around your ear. The left one is pretty stiff, like you have to put a considerable amount of force into this hinge for it to turn, which is weird because that should not happen. These headphones are used, yeah, but they haven't been used for a long time. I think the seller said something like 2 months, and so I don't know why that hinge would be so hard to turn. And it's also squeaking. I don't know if you can hear that. I think you could hear that. Yeah, it doesn't bother me if it's when it's on my head, and that's the most important part, I think, because, you know, you're gonna... The only thing that I do not particularly like, but also don't really dislike, it's just kind of neutral for me, is the glossy finish on the headband. As you can see, they leave pretty significant fingerprints, and, you know, you have to clean them if you want them to look good. And that glossy finish is also here on the cups. That's the one thing I'm not too happy about, but you know, that's personal taste. So yeah, some people might like the finish more than the black one, the matte black one on the 600s. When it comes to comfort, they are pretty comfortable. Like, what was that? Like, I could wear them for multiple hours a day, and I think that's the thing. I think most people would agree with me on that. Although I hate that my ears are touching the inside of the pad. I can't really show this because from the pad is the same as on the HD600s, which I have and I'm testing right now. They have the same pads. The one on the 58X are just very compressed, and I don't know if that's an issue because they are used, or if they just come with more compressed pads. Although you could swap them out, I think they have exactly the same pads, given its design. So I think you could just buy 600 series pads, and that would solve the problem. But, you know, keep in mind that these pads are also like $40–50 or euros, so I'm not going to do that. But other than that, if you have ears that don't come forward as much as mine, even though mine don't really come that much forward, I wouldn't call them like Dumbo ears, but yeah, maybe some people have smaller ears that are flatter on their head, and for those people, I think that's pretty good, and that's no issue at all. Even if your ears are touching the driver, you might not even notice it, you might not even care about it, because it does not impact sound at all. The sound is still pretty good. It's just a comfort thing. Let's briefly talk about the cable, which are currently connected to my HD600s. Yes, these are real HD600s. Here's the what do you call it, like the plaque. Yeah, I use the cable with the HD600s because the HD600s cable is bad, really bad. It's too long. I have it right here. Like, look at this. I'm not gonna use this cable for my desktop setup. Like, no shot. And when I found out that these use the same cable, they have the same, like, 2-pole connector. I'm gonna show it to you if you don't know what I'm talking about. The HD600 cable is colored, but yeah, they have the same 2-pole connector cable, which I think is Sennheiser proprietary, a proprietary connector, because I've never seen any other headphone use that. So yeah, the cable is very good. I like that it's a thicker cable. As you can see, it's a bit thicker. You know, usually cables would be half as thick, but because they connect to both ends or both sides of the cup, they run in this like 2-fold kind of thing. And yeah, it feels very nice. That's a very, very nice cable. It does not retain its form at all. Like you can see, this is just flowing here like it never had a form at all. And yeah, I really like the cable. That's probably the best Sennheiser cable that I've had so far. But I do not know if connecting to both ear cups instead of just one gives you any benefit in sound, or like noise ratio or electrical signal kind of thing. I would doubt that, but you know, it works, and it's a very good cable. I really like it. Let's get to sound, the most important thing for most people. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know if I'm the right person for these headphones, because since I started to collect headphones and review headphones and listen to different kind of tunings and drivers and all of that, I sort of fell in love with treble detail. And treble detail is something that's very lacking on the 58X. You know, here's the graph, if that's, you know, something you care about. Here's the graph. I don't know if you can actually see it on there, but the treble sounds very recessed. Like, it sounds, I wouldn't call it muddy. You still can hear detail, but it's just not the amount of detail that I like, because I gave a raving review about the HD 560S, although I thought that the treble on the 560S was just too much, like especially the peak between 4 and 6 kilohertz. They don't have that. I did not run into any song that had any sibilance problem. So if you have sensitive ears, these might be the best pick for you. And also bass. Let's talk about bass. Let's talk about perceived bass. They have more perceived bass than any other headphone that I've reviewed up until this point. But that is only because they lack in treble. I don't think that they have, like listening to it and then comparing to the HD600s, which the HD600s don't have a lot of bass. They roll off very early at like 80 or maybe even 100 hertz, and then fall off like 15 or 20 decibels when they've reached the limit. These don't have that much of a dramatic drop-off. I think there's still a steeper drop-off than the 560S. I think the 560S have a better like bass accuracy, bass retention. These have more perceived bass, but at a loss of treble. And you know, if that's something you don't care about, if you I still wouldn't recommend them if you're a bass head. No, of course not. They're still not neutral, but kind of balanced. I would classify them as audiophile headphones, but you know, they're not Sony XM3s. You don't get earth-shattering bass like on the Skullcandy Crusher Evo, I think they're called. Yeah, yeah, it's just more perceived bass for a relaxed listening, and that's probably what they're intended for, relaxed listening. And that's what I most enjoy them for, because when I listen to tracks and I don't care about the detail, I just want something playing in the background while I'm doing something else, like, I don't know, homework or stuff like that, then yeah, they're nice. And also, if you want to turn up the volume and focus on the music, you can still do that with these headphones. Just keep in mind that you're not getting all the detail that there is. But I think that the 58X might be the best consumer headphones Sennheiser has put out. And there's like, they're like right in between the two worlds of consumer and audiophile, because audiophiles really love detail and they want like treble that gives them a tinnitus, what is it called? I don't know. But yeah, these are pretty much right in between those two worlds. And if you are also right in between those two worlds, where you want a bit of detail, but you also want a more consumer sound, but also don't like the Harman target, because these do not really adhere to the Harman target, then these headphones are your pick. Quick intermission. These headphones are pretty easy to drive. I've had no issues driving them with a phone, or with a digital Walkman, or with a CD player, or anything like that. So you don't actually need an amp for like mobile use, but I would recommend an amp for desktop use, because most motherboards, especially if you have a Windows PC, most motherboard sound cards just shit and can't power anything. But you have to try that out. If it's not powerful enough for your setup, then go get an amp, but it's not needed. And I would recommend them if they wouldn't cost as much. At $190, which was the price when I last looked at drop.com, I would not recommend them. No, not at all. I bought them for even more, because if I were to import them from the US, that would like double the price, and I would have to pay like $300 for them. And I paid $200, and at $200 I would not recommend these headphones. No, not at all. Go with the 560S and just slap an EQ on there and just turn the turn the treble a bit down if that's bothering you. At $130 or $129, which they cost on sale, or did cost on sale, yes, I would recommend them at $130, but not at $190 or $200 or whatever. Maybe the price will be even higher because of inflation and all of that. Like, everything is getting more expensive nowadays, sadly. Yeah, but $130, sure, go with them. They're very good listening headphones. You will enjoy them for pretty much every genre that you listen to, or that most people listen to, especially like genres which have more bass. So if you listen to pop, if you listen to EDM or rap or house, you will love these headphones. But if you listen to like something where you want to focus on the details, like some complex progressive metal stuff, maybe not. Maybe. But maybe you actually do enjoy it, because it brings out the lower frequencies. Maybe it puts a bit more focus on the bass player in your favorite band. Yeah, but that's something that you, if you want these headphones, have to find out for yourself. I can only speak for my short 2 weeks of testing them, and I would recommend them for $130. $190, no. Everything above $130, strict, no. Go with 560S. Go with, I don't know, $599. They're even cheaper than these on sale. Go with, I don't know, the Super Luxes for $20. Or if you want to save up and get like the legacy item, then go with the 600s. But at $130, yes. I think I said $130 like 15,000 times in this video. But yeah. Link is in the description for these headphones on drop.com. Also, if you're not in the US, make sure to look on eBay and maybe your own country's version of eBay. like in Germany eBay Kleinanzeigen or in Austria Willhaben. I got these from eBay and they arrived very quickly, like I think it only took a week, and you know, I saved $1. I saved not only $1, I saved like pretty much $100 at least, because I didn't import them. They were already imported and someone sold them. And yeah, that's it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, share your thoughts and opinions and all of that. Next week will be the unboxing of the HD600s. Yes, I conceded and bought 600s. Okay, see you in a week.